Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's George, it's John, it's 5 count. We're talking sports, and it's a massive day in sports today, especially if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan like we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, George, I don't give a shit what anyone says. We're gonna kick this bad boy off. You could tweet that stuff out, and we'll kick it off because we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs today, the greatest football team in the world. They made a deal today, obviously. Trent McDuffie, one of my favorite players. He was on my phone for several years. So I'm a big Trent McDuffie fan, but I understand the business of football. Dealt today for a first-round pick, a third-rounder next year, a fifth-rounder, a sixth-rounder, 4 draft picks for Trent McDuffie, $14 million off the cap. You hate to see him go as a great player, but George, Brett Veach is cooking with gas, baby.
Man, look, everybody who has been Brett Veach don't do this, Brett Veach don't do that. I feel like this is one of those times where everybody kisses Veach ass because, of course, now he done did something that not even you thought was capable at some point, but yet still something that you wouldn't say that you wanted to have done. Because me personally, I'm pretty much on the fence about the decision as well. Not saying that I did want it to happen or didn't, but I know it's business. And sometimes when it's business, in my aspect, I feel like this trade for everybody worked out. And you can start from top to bottom. Chiefs needed picks and needed to free up money. We did exactly that. We got 4 picks, 1 first rounder, and a couple more picks, and another pick next year, and another third rounder next year. Then you got Trent McDuffie going back to the West Coast and being close to his family. You got the LA Rams finally getting a corner that they can actually hang their hat on and have for the next few years because they're probably going to re-sign them to another deal. So you got a lot of meat on that bone as far as everybody kind of being happy with the trade. Now, of course, there are going to be some folks that are not necessarily the most impressed with the idea of Trent McDuffie leaving, and now we don't have a solid number 1 corner that people can hang their hats on, for so would say. But Brett Veach is a wizard at trying to go ahead and get corners and develop.
Yeah.
As people can say, oh, he doesn't sign corners. Well, the Chiefs haven't signed corners for years. It goes back
never
to
signed corners.
Brandon Flowers.
Peters. We didn't sign Peters.
We didn't resign, McDuffie. We didn't resign
Travaris Ward.
Travaris Ward. It's a lot of names that have come through here that haven't necessarily been able to be re-signed.
No.
Not necessarily the cap, but at that particular position, the Chiefs have been really good at developing corners. And the one thing about that is
really good.
You got a lot of talent out there that is young that you can kind of develop as well, that is going to make this defense once again fast and fiery. A lot of times, a lot of things that don't actually work out because a lot of players aren't fast enough. If you've seen how many players that were running a 40-yard dash this year at DB, 4.3 and 4.4, boys is catching up. And they catch
There's going to be
time. So it's a lot of speed in that draft that you can go out there and get. And with all these picks the Chiefs have, they can do a lot of damage. So
I love it. I like the deal. I like I said, McDuffie's a great player. He was an all-pro. He's a wonderful corner, but it was the right move going forward. Because like you said, like the Chiefs have been able to do well in getting good corners in the draft. So I mean, now you got the 9th overall pick and the 29th overall pick, which is crazy, especially the coincidence with Tyreek Hill trade because you got the 29th pick at that point too. Yeah. And I mean, that was the draft that won you 2 Super Bowls. For being honest, like that was it. Everyone contributed. So, like, it's amazing. Like, I'm going to go on a rant here, George, quickly. No matter what we do at 9 and 29, can we please stop with the mock drafts that have a tackle going to the Chiefs? Can we just stop? Can we pay attention to anything that's happening in the world and not just assuming? Because, like, it's absolutely insane. Like, we have our offensive line set. Jalen Moore or Esapole are going to be that other tackle. We're not going to spend a 9th overall pick on a tackle. Stop mock drafts with the Chiefs with a tackle. You're just wasting space. Like, it just doesn't – you're wasting, like, inches. You're wasting words. Like it's not gonna. It's not. That's not what it's gonna be. I think the Chiefs should double up on defense if they can, because that's never a bad idea. I'm worried about the wide receiver, not about the talent level. Like I think, like people were like really banging the drum on a wide receiver, and I'm not against it. I understand. Like our wide receiver room, there's it's a bit murky. I get, like, but my concern is we draft a guy at 9, he doesn't play. That's my problem. Like, and it's not like, listen, I'm not criticizing Andy as a coach, but because he's Andy Reid, but rookie wide receivers seems to be a bit of an issue there. So, you get a guy who's a ninth pick, you'd like to see him play. But I tell you what, I think it's a good day for the Chiefs. I really do. I really think this is going to help us. We've got some more cap space. Obviously, Juwan Taylor, I think, is officially released. So that's another $20 million. There's a rumor that they restructured Chris Jones, but we're not sure about that. So the Chiefs are.
My hat on that. I ain't seen nobody official say this. I'm just kind of.
I think they will, though. I think it's a matter of time. I mean, I think that it's just converting. He's going to get all the money anyways, so just help them out in the cap. And Chris Jones is about winning. We know that's what he's about. He's all about winning. He's about winning, and so which is which is why we love him, why we love Chris Jones. But like they're gonna have money to spend, and obviously everyone's running back. George, if you could pick one of the free agent running backs to sign, I know you got some interesting ideas. Who would you pick? If you were in the chair, who would you sign? Who's the one?
I need two, and that's the problem.
Okay. Maybe you don't need to. But if you can sign, just pick one. You could pick one.
I mean, the obvious pick for me,
yeah,
and everybody's probably gonna be like, obvious, is Travis Etienne.
Yeah, I mean,
a workhorse back.
He's probably the favorite.
In my mind, he's better for us than Kenneth Walker, but at the same time, I'm not putting him above Kenneth Walker because of his ability.
No.
The reason why I'm putting him above Kenneth Walker because he's been an all-around back all the time.
He's better pass catcher.
He's a better pass catcher in a lot of sense, but the only thing about him is that they put him with another backup, and they try to split carries. They try to go ahead and lighten his load, but at the same time, the more you change the offense, the more he has to change his game, and he's adaptable more than anything. That's one of the things I love about Travis Etienne is that he's more adaptable to me than Kenneth Walker would be. And I think that that's not, saying that Kenneth Walker is not adaptable at all. I'm not saying that at all. No. I think he just fits more in our offense. Now, as far as one thing that I really feel is like one of the things that you really are looking at from the running back position for a Chiefs running back is their pass blocking ability. Because Pat needs to be protected by everybody at all times in every scheme if it's going to work. So I need everybody to do their job and not have to worry about the little things. Travis Etienne is a pretty strong guy. He can take on some hits, and Kenneth Walker might be a little bit better in that department for me. That's one thing that I see as well. But as far as running the football and just kind of doing the things that running backs do, I think it's almost a tie, but I would prefer Etienne simply because of how adaptable he has been in multiple styles of offenses. He's had multiple coaches down there in Jacksonville. He's had multiple systems that he had to work through, and he's been very successful in majority of them. It's just that sometimes when you have talent that doesn't necessarily meet up with what the coaching is actually doing, sometimes it really looks like you're just doing nothing at some point. So, spinning your wheels in Jacksonville may not have been the thing, but
come to Kansas City, But I don't disagree. I think he's probably the clubhouse leader right now. If you had to take a straw poll, but I think Kenneth Walker. I mean, if we ended up with Kenneth Walker, that'd be unbelievable because that guy's a dog.
But
no, not my outside pick. Yeah.
Hypothetically, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that something does happen in the area of neither one of them are there. There's a lot of other running backs that are available that you can actually put in that spot, but I think that there's a lot of people that we're not necessarily looking at to kind of put in Chiefs jerseys simply because they're not big names.
I got one. I think the guy that I like is Rico Dowdle, 1,000-yard rusher.
Mm-hmm.
4.6 yards per carry. I think he's durable. He's 215 ish.
He's
He's a bit good.
He's
He's a
with his
yeah,
like, I can see his vision. He has a really
yeah,
good set of eyes.
yeah.
So, and he knows how to hit the hole if there's one there. So
Yeah, I think he'd fit. I think he'd really fit. Obviously, you want the top guys, but I think he'd be a guy that would fit in well with our offense. And I think we're going to draft another back. I mean, there's Emmett, the kid out of Nebraska, Emmett Johnson.
Um,
I like Mark Washington Jr. at Arkansas. He can't teach fast.
Yeah, you can't teach fast.
You can't teach fast.
I think there's a lot of college backs that are very, very much available at a lot of times.
Katron Allen.
The one thing about that is I don't know if he stays around long enough for us to get him wherever we would need.
Yeah. You never know where they're going to draft, but I mean, there's a ton of great running backs. I mean that they can put together
under the radar kind of year as far as like running backs goes. Like I think it's one of those years where you can kind of say, all right, this is one of those where you don't necessarily have to kind of hang your hat on the idea of drafting a running back, but if you did, you're probably gonna get a good one for the next few years. And then I think, like I say, everybody's really how love for the first running back to kind of go. And I think that,
I think he's gone before he gets to us.
I think it's unbelievable to kind of see him even make it past 5 in my mind. 5 to 7, I feel like he's gone. And I'm not mad about that because at the end of the day, you got a lot of people who look at what they really need. The Titans need a running back. The Saints need a running back. Or would say they need a running back. The one thing about the Saints is I don't know what their relationship with Alvin Kamara is. Are they going to keep Alvin Kamara along for the ride? Is it going to be one of those situations where they just write out his contract and just kind of draft somebody to kind of come in and take over? Because of course they have other running backs that they use, but I don't know if that's what they go for in the first round. With a team like the Saints,
a guy like him, they might. A guy like him is probably worth it, especially if you're on the fence with running back. And especially in that kind of division, I mean, they got like Bijan's there. They got some good running backs in that division.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't want the Saints to make another. Well, it wouldn't be the same as Ricky Williams, but I think that
that was I mean, I love Ricky Williams. Like, if you give me Ricky Williams right now, I take him. But like, he traded every draft pick for him. I mean, that was just. That ridiculous.
Was the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Dumbest things ever.
I feel like at some point the NFL has to step in like David Stern used to and be like, all right, hell no. This shit ain't gonna fucking fly. Look, if we talking about stuff that kind of was dictated away, David Stern had an iron fist when it comes down to
he was not. He did not fuck around.
Like, they just let slip through the crack. Well, I mean, if you think about it, over the years, they've had like trades that were just like blockbuster dumb. Like if we're talking about trades, like today was a trade that was a blockbuster trade, but I feel like both sides.
It was a smart trade.
Everything that they needed to give up to make it work. It worked on both sides. Like the Herschel Walker trade, that was another.
Here's the thing: the Herschel Walker trade. It was widely panned. It was widely panned because, but it was because the Cowboys had Jimmy Johnson and they knew how to draft players. Mm-hmm. That's what made it a bad trade. Is that it it was it's great. It I don't know which documentary it's in, but basically every player, there was a draft pick tied to every player. So if he released the player, he got the pick. So he's like, I don't want the player. So he got all these draft picks. And he said, the key isn't getting the picks. The key is drafting good players. And they drafted some Hall of Fame players in that pick. So, I mean, that's one of the genius deals in professional sports. That it was just absolutely unbelievable. And I mean, but that was Jimmy Johnson, right? He was a genius coach. But George, another thing that happened today, Stephon Diggs was released from the New England Patriots. I mean,
next question.
Not a big. Yeah, I mean, what do you?
Stephon Diggs, in my mind, has watched confetti for a team either going to the Super Bowl or whooping his ass in it. And
Or not.
at
Not
some
he didn't
point,
even. He only went once, but it's the
or
AFC
whooping his ass
Championship
in
games
it.
that he lost. Yeah,
I just say confetti. Every time there's confetti around, it ain't his colors.
he he's on the.
He's on the other team. He's always on the other team. Like he's always covered in the other team's confetti. If it look, I done seen him in red and gold so many goddamn times. He ain't never played for the Chiefs. Then he goes to the Super Bowl. He's in green and blue. So I'm just like, I don't know if it's him, but this is one thing we gotta honestly talk about. He didn't show up big in the playoffs at all. I think he had probably yards or close to one game. And I feel like, with his off the field issues, playing a big part in what he's doing, it kind of makes it really unwatchable for a lot of fans to kind of say that they wanted Stephon Diggs on their team at one point or still see him on the team going forward. Now, I do feel like, if he takes a year off and gets his life together and comes back into the league, he can avoid being other players of years past. He can avoid being 2.0 Antonio Brown towards the end of his career, where everything seems to be, very erratic and he's doing things that he doesn't necessarily need to do. You see it with players all the time. They start getting those, big contracts, and then all of a sudden it's kind of, it's a diva position. They say the receiver position is the diva position. So it's like you get them acting out, you get them doing things like, they're not throwing me the ball and all this stuff. It's a track record of receivers that have done this. So I'm like, it was inevitable for, you not being a part of the Patriot way. Like everything that you like, I know it's 2026 and a lot of things change, but even Tom Brady looked at that team and was just like, I hope y'all do good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a fit anymore. So, I mean, I'm sure somebody will sign him, So, but sad news today: the legendary Notre Dame Fighting Irish coach Lou Holtz, also coached a number of teams, died at 89. Rested power. A great college coach, brought Notre Dame back. That's if anyone hasn't watched it, that Catholics versus Convicts documentary is really good. And it's about that team that Lou Holtz won the national championship with in 1988. I still think that the Gary play was. I thought it was a touchdown. I don't know what they were talking about, but Lou Holtz was an unbelievable coach. Just brought Notre Dame back to glory, and died today, but had a great life, and it was a really great football coach. So shout out to Lou Holtz. George, I'm going to get this in this weekend. One of my favorite fighters, my favorite fighter, and one of my favorite athletes, Max Blessed Holloway, is putting the baddest motherfucker on the planet title against Charles Oliveira, who's a dog. It's going to be a war. Like, you want to watch something this weekend, you watch that fight. It's going to be a war. I hate watching Max fights because he's so good. I saw him twice in Toronto, George. One time Brian Ortega was a real good fighter, beat him up so bad Brian Ortega didn't fight for 2 years. The other time he beat Anthony Pettis, with a slew of just body shots.
Yes.
He's been in the wildest shit. He fought Calvin Kattar and landed like a record number of strikes. And these are great fighters. These are like Anthony Pettis was a world champion. Like, he was down a division, but he was amazing. But like, he's just beating these guys. Like Justin Gaethje is the most famous one. That was the one where he won it like 1 minute left because he's like, point it down and let's go. With Gaethje, who's the interim lightweight champion right now and who's got knockout power. He's just. I loved Arturo Gatti as a boxer just because he went forward and he fought. He didn't jab all night. He didn't shoulder roll. He went into the fire. He's like, all right. And Max Holloway is the same kind of guy. But so is Charles Oliveira. Like amazing submission artist, finisher. They fought years ago at a lighter weight class. And Max won. Charles, I guess, got an injury. I'm not sure what happened, but Max got the W. But this is This is going to be a great fight, an absolute war. It's one of the, like, it's just a great card. The UFC, if you're not a UFC fan, I'm a massive UFC fan. To me, it's the best sport to watch. It's just so like dynamic. And it's, to me, like, people talk about boxing and UFC, and I always look at, to me, UFC is way more entertaining because you have more ways to do it. So, but George, like, this is a killer fight. Kyle Bahario, who fights out of the Fighting Nerds, they wear the glasses and they kill people in the octagon, is fighting a guy named Reinier de Ridder, who's a great submission guy, a Dutch guy, and he fought. And he lost. He's coming off a loss. Rob Font's fighting a guy named Raul Rojas Jr., who was signed when he's 18 years old. He's a jiu-jitsu wizard and tough guy. And then 2 fights. Dana White does this thing where it's, if you don't know yet, now you know. 2 fights. Drew Dober against Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson has been fighting since Moses had a short beard. He's been fighting for so long. Fast hands, knock dude out. He's 40 or something like that, but he's still doing the damn thing. And Drew Dober is a handsome fucker. He's got great abs, but he can kill you. Dynamite power. But my favorite fight of the weekend, other than the Max Holloway fight, is going to be Bruno Ferreira against Gregory Rodriguez. 2 Brazilians. Gregory Rodriguez is called RoboCop, and there's a reason why. Knocks dudes flatter in 4 o'clock. And Ferreira is a dog. Like, these are good fights. And, so it's a great card. The UFC is like, I'm pulling for Max. Obviously, Max, my guy. So it'll be a good weekend of fights, baby.
I love a good fight every now and again. I love
a good fight.
I
love a good
fight.
fight.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big who's the big card. I want to see somebody get knocked out 90% of the time, and I never get down with UFC. So hey,
you should start watching. It's on in the US. It's on Paramount Plus. It's free.
Hey, you know what's funny? I probably pay for every app there is known to man. You've seen my Xbox. It's everything up there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then what's funny, I just bought NBA League Pass. So it's just like I'm gonna be locked into everything pretty much all year long. And then of course, like I say, when football comes back around, if I can get some special treatment there from the cable company or somebody, we can kind of make some things work where I can watch Chiefs games every week. Or if I can watch every NFL game every day, or every game that comes on every day, like I would die because I would love that.
Up here, I get DAZN, and the thing about DAZN is that you can pause your membership. So I pause my membership every year until like August, and then from August till through the Super Bowl, I get it. So, and it has every NFL game, so no matter what, I can watch the Chiefs. So it's great.
Once you kind of get like started watching sports and you start to love them, you start to realize how much you actually spend on sports every year. Chiefs games aside, I think I spend a pretty good amount on, football and basketball every year. I'm trying to get basketball games, but I think the one thing about going to basketball games is I live in Dallas, so the Mavericks aren't good, so the tickets aren't expensive, but I just feel like watching them play against people who probably aren't going to play. Like, I feel like every superstar comes here and they like, I got to rest, or I'm giving y'all 6 points. It's not really, very, very competitive a lot of times. But I think that most nights is very, very competitive against certain teams. So I would think that I want to go see I want to just see some competitive basketball. I want to see a blowout game.
So George, coming up, I'm excited. See, I don't watch a lot of college basketball. I only have so many hours in my day, but I love March Madness because of the spectacle of it. Because there's always some friggin' team from some no account school, like, Seeing Eye State or some, there's always some story. I like them because the games are quick. They're like 20-minute halves, right? So they're really quick, and and it's like I'm at when I'm at work, usually have the phone on, so it's something to watch. But I mean, I think when it comes time for March Madness the week before, once the bracket's out, we should fill it, because I know absolutely nothing. Like, I'm going on pure I mean, I know zero about it, but I like watching it because you never know who's going to win. Like you never know.
That's the best part about college
You
basketball.
know.
There's a lot of talent spread across a lot of teams, and unlike the NCAA football, the bracket system has been what the bracket system has been for years, and they've never changed it because as much as you think it doesn't work, it works just as much. And now that they have like the tournament system that has kind of worked a lot better over the last few years, where you have a lot of teams that you just couldn't imagine just kind of playing basketball up against some of the best teams in the nation were supposed to be. So I love the competitive edge. I love the idea of March Madness because it gives everybody perspective of like, the underdog really has a chance. So, like I say,
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
It's a great tournament, and you really get it's exciting. It's like but I can't watch college basketball all the time. It's just like that's not how I'm wired. But it's super cool. I mean, I'm super pumped for it. So George, tonight our top five is the top five fictional defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we did the top five fictional QBs, and you went on a lovely rant about why Junior Floyd needed to be included in the top five, and he was. Junior Floyd. I think he was working at the pharmacy and he was throwing toilet paper rolls.
Toilet paper rolls, baby.
Yeah, and they were like, and he found him, and he's like, Rick Moranis, one of the great Canadian, one of the great coaches. But George, I mean, there's a ton of these guys. So let's kick it off. I'm going to kick it off, actually. I'm going to start it here.
Please.
I'm going to start it. Top five defensive players, Alvin Mack, middle linebacker, Eastern State University. From the movie The Program. Just the baddest of the bad, all-American linebacker, murdered dude, left snot bubbles in his nose, and like wasn't great in the classroom. Yeah. Respect. Wasn't great in the classroom, but like when they showed I love the scene where he's like, who won the Punic City Wars? Detroit and Buffalo. And then it showed like him in the thing. It's like, who do you take? I take this guy. Who do you take? I take this guy. And it was like he was just rhyming off. But I mean, just an all around stud. Alvin Mack to me has to be on the list of the top five defensive players.
He was a baller.
He's a hoss.
I'm gonna start off here because I'm a fan of the big boys down in the trenches. I will always love the guys who are over 270 pounds, moving another human being over 270 pounds against his will. This man, Switowski, from the Mean Machine, Bob Sapp, as some would know, played defensive tackle. I'm going to tell you right now, if that man is coming off the line at you, he's going to break your freaking neck. And I'm going to just leave it at that. That's exactly what he's going to do. He put people in the hospital who were in jail. These are all inmates, by the way. He's out there taking out inmates. And the thing is, he was the nice guy. He was like, if you ever seen that hand baller, it was over, Jack. Everybody's getting beat. Like, too big, too fast, too strong. Just a monster from the defensive tackle position, moving humans like nobody else's business. And then he was an inmate too. So it was like he had some wild thoughts. He had to, because he wasn't just in there because he liked cake. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, yeah, I'm going to take Switowski on the D-line.
One of my favorite scenes from that is when he's like, he's like, you got no brothers. What are you talking about? We got Switowski. This ain't hockey.
Yeah, Switowski's my pick. So of course we got to switch gears. We got to see who you go ahead and throw in this mix. We got to start this off, man.
Okay, well I'm gonna throw in Shark LeVay, Hall of Fame player for the Miami Sharks, played by fucking Lawrence Taylor. So I mean, if you're played by the best defensive player probably in the history of professional football, you should be on a goddamn list of the top 10 fictional football players. Like, I mean, just a stud, threw a great party too, apparently. So,
Apparently,
yeah. So did
heard
probably Lawrence.
things.
So did Lawrence Taylor. I mean, like, and the fact that like he did that like just on crack and like hookers, I think, which is like I mean, it's unbelievable. So
Mm-mm.
Shark LeVay on the top 5 list of fictional defensive players.
I mean, there's a lot of fictional defensive players that you kind of just have to look at and be like, yeah, he has to come. Remember the Titans. Julius.
Can't be on it. Can't be on it. He's not
Why?
fictional. He's not fictional.
He's fictional.
He was real. He was real. There was an actual character based on Julius Campbell. He's not.
He's fictional. If
He's
Google
not fictional. I don't care what fucking Google says.
Oh, so
it's not on.
Google. So you better than Google.
Yes, absolutely. It's based on a true story. He was a real person. You can look him up.
He was the best linebacker that never was. I don't know Julius Campbell. His name wasn't really Julius Campbell. I know that. How about that? The linebacker that he was based off was not Julius Campbell. They used no real names in that. They used close, but no cigars.
Yes, he was. He was a real person.
He was a real person, yes, but his name wasn't Julius Campbell.
Yes, it was. Julius Campbell Jr., a Virginia high school football player, depicted in the movie Remember the Titans, died in 2019. He's a real person. He does not count.
A real person.
Yeah, so pick another player.
That's Wood Harris. I don't give a damn what you say. That's Wood Harris, and he played linebacker in Alabama for Remember the Titans. I don't give a damn. Like you could argue me down. You're not gonna win this one. Julius. I mean, I could go, Charles Jefferson.
But now we're talking.
But I'm gonna leave it at Charles because it's not a Charles and one other person because I have to leave this spot because there's one person that goes in this spot and I feel like everybody knows who this person is going in this spot.
Bobby Boucher.
He's the best middle linebacker ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, that's kind of the one.
Charles Jefferson, can I there's a couple guys, one guy I think that I think might belong in the top 5. And it's not because I watched the movie today, but it probably is Vontae Mack from draft.
I knew it. See, and this is why I would say Charles Jefferson over Vontae Mack. Because Vontae Mack was good, but Charles Jefferson was an inmate with a chip on his shoulder. He played ball, and he was vicious. Was he
the first overall pick, though? Because that's what Vontae Mack was.
What's better than the first overall pick?
No, what?
I'm giving you first overall pick numbers from jail. All right? I don't sign this man for nothing but $15 and lunch. And you want to tell me I could get the first overall draft? No. I can draft anybody I want to. Go ahead. I'm taking Charles. Charles get out on the 3rd. That's what I'm waiting on. Charles ain't look. We're not worried about Charles. Charles ain't getting drafted. I ain't got to worry about that. I can go half the season and Charles getting out of jail and starting next week. Charles was like Lawrence Taylor, but not Lawrence Taylor. Off that edge, he was huge. First of all, it's Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker is a big ass man coming off the edge as defensive end. Not gonna lie.
So that's fair. That's okay. Charles Jefferson sticks around, but I wanted to mention Vontae Mack.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we got 5: Alvin Mack, Switowski. There's I'm not going to convince you, but there's another honorable mention that could be
honorable mention though. If you're talking about who I think you're talking about, but go ahead.
I don't know. Latimer. There's a couple guys. Latimer.
LeVay.
Who?
Luther.
He's already on the list. I picked him.
No, we got to move him if you put Latimer in there.
No way. Shark LeVay's better than Latimer. We're gonna keep
With or
you're gonna
without the
keep
juice. With or without the juice.
Shark LeVay is a Hall of Famer.
In
Like
real life,
Latimer.
yes.
No,
Yes.
in the game, in the thing, he had played
He had
in
played so many
14 years.
He had played so many years in the thing. But I'm like this.
So
That year
I
he
would
was okay at best. He had games where now I'm gonna tell you this. He was a hard hitting motherfucker. We know that. We know
I think
he
he's
knocked a lot of dicks in the dirt, but I just feel like
Shark LeVay got to be on the. I think replacing it. Like, listen, I love Swatowski, but like Battle is Goldberg. Like, what are we talking about? And like, there's a couple other guys, Earl Wilkinson from the movie The Replacements, who came out of jail and was like the best
goddamn safety ever.
Who I think is based on Tony Robinson from the who played with Washington when they had the replacement players. Danny Bateman, the middle linebacker from the Washington Sentinels in that movie, is another good one.
Dan the man, I'm gonna tell you right now, he was turned on a little too much, and
he's
not
fired up.
At the right times. I feel like yeah, he can get you a fumble recovery, but where the fuck is you on every other play? Like, you can't be that wired up on one play. That's why Bobby is like every play. Like, they didn't want to go on defense or offense because Bobby was out there on the field. Bobby got so good that they would just like kneel the ball at certain points in the game so he could just stop hitting the motherfuckers.
And he was doing it with a kicker's helmet. Like, let's be fair. Fucking kickers.
Single bar, baby. Knock your shit out.
So Bobby Boucher is definitely the he's definitely the I think he's number one. I think Bobby Boucher
easily.
Like, he led them to the Bourbon Bowl. I mean, he's definitely Larry Bird on this list.
Yeah, I can see Bobby
to me
going first.
To me, I have an idea for this list, and here's how I put it. I got Bobby Boucher 1. I got Shark LeVay 2.
Okay.
I mean,
it was gonna be him or Latimer right there to me.
No, yeah.
High intensity
and then
linebackers, baby.
Alvin Mack is 3.
Yeah.
Because Shark did it in the pros, Alvin did it in college. And then I'd put Charles Jefferson and then Swatowski.
I can't disagree.
Because while Swatowski did make the guy shit himself.
He made a guy shit himself. He broke a dude's neck. He done, I don't know exactly, how he's better than everybody else above him. Now, of course, I don't see any other defensive player coming up above him at 5. Reason being, and I have him locked at 5 is because I feel like at the defensive tackle position, it's so hard.
He was an end too. Like, at some point, he played all over.
He shifted. I mean, I'm not saying he's Myles Garrett or nobody, but he definitely played his fair share of different styles of defenses whilst on an inmate style defense. I mean,
and
you gotta give it to him. And
listen, we got to remember who he made shit himself. So that's fair. But honorable mentions, I think Latimer, Vontae Mack, Earl Wilkinson, Danny Bateman, Battle from Longest Yard. Those are all honorable mentions. That's a great,
that's a deep list. Yeah, no, that's a really deep
there's
list.
A lot of, I love talking these fictional things because there's so many outstanding. I love sports movies. I absolutely just adore them. Like, if I could start an app with just sports movies, like just all of them, unbelievable, so especially football movies are generally pretty good. But now, one time we got to do the top 5 football players depicted in movies. So, like Julius Campbell,
get off my
Roland.
Get off my. This guy wants to take Julius Campbell smooth off the list just so he can take him and put him on
He's
another.
not. He's a real person.
Man, fuck all that. He ain't a real
He's
person.
a real person. He is.
Not
It's on ESPN.
I don't give a damn. Look, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Julius Campbell can show up tomorrow.
Nah.
He do. You know,
He's a great player, but he's not fictional.
He's fictional now. Now, I'm not, not getting into it. Not getting into it with you. He's fictional now. How about this? Go find him today. Go. Yeah, you're a real person. Go find him today. I bet it's a stone. I bet it's a stone right there where he at. But nevertheless, I feel like he should have been on this list because he is one of the best defensive players in the movie.
Well, he is, but he really is. He really is. And Gary Bertier.
Bertier, I feel like they made it more about his particular portion of the story because he had to overcome himself a lot, which I really agreed that they should have kind of highlighted it too. I just feel like they didn't highlight enough of the. I feel like they was trying to overcome so much in that you really couldn't make a movie that long to kind of fight the power. I'm not asking for nobody to like. February is over. Okay, I get it. I understand. But I just feel like you can. He
was a good player. He was a good player.
Yeah,
he was a good player. But they, but yeah, no, I love sports movies. I love what we were talking about this, and but like that's a great list. Like, what great characters! Fucking and Bobby Boucher, absolutely, just so good. What a great movie! What a great goddamn movie, George.
The one thing about the whole Waterboy movie for me that kind of blew my mind a lot of times was the simple fact that it almost seemed like he never knew how to play football and was just, just wanting to hit motherfuckers. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, sometimes when you out there hitting people, it hurts you more than it hurt the person. Because sometimes you got to take the right angle and you don't, and you just, okay, I can't do that no more. But I'm still giving them. Bobby was out there with a kicker's helmet, giving people the blues.
Just the business.
Like, your neck don't hurt after like a week of that shit. I'm like, bruh, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. I don't give a damn who y'all lose to. Y'all can lose to LSU tomorrow. I don't care.
Dude, he was on nothing but H2O and alligator meat, just going crazy. Croc just mama's cooking, fucking. He's cooking something.
Real, like you show up. First of all, if I'm a coach and I go to visit a player's house, and you motherfuckers offering me a big ass 30-pound smoked anaconda, I'm probably not gonna sign you, bro. Because you got other shit that in your life that you can make money for. And I'm pretty sure it ain't football. Because, first of all, ain't nobody eating no anaconda for dinner. And they were sitting there, enjoying the anaconda. And he asked a polite question, said, "What's for dessert?" And a squirrel gets trapped in the fly trap. And I'm just like, man,
it's crazy shit.
Gotta rescue Bobby, or Bobby got to play some good ass football for me to go ahead and take him after that, and he did. So, definitely enjoyed the list. I feel like it's one of those that you can kind of not necessarily just hang your hat on, but you can have your opinion on too. So, if you have an opinion on somebody who should be on this list, go ahead and slide them in there. So,
George, lately I've been watching. I mentioned Larry Bird. I've been watching a ton of documentaries and shows about the Lakers and the Celtics. I don't know why. When I've been at work and stuff, it's just like, but just the rivalry. I just loved how the idea of like how those two franchises, but really Magic and Bird, saved the NBA. Like Jordan took it global, but they saved it nationally, and just the rivalry and just the fact that they played basketball tough. It was a completely different game back then. But I honestly believe that I think Magic could play in any era. I think that's why, to me, he's the greatest point guard that's ever lived. But Larry, I think would do well in this era because he could shoot. He was a pure shoot, and he could rebound, and he could shoot and rebound.
One of the things about Larry Bird that people not necessarily looked at as far as what he really could do. He was a great passer as well.
Wonderful passer,
Nobody really
unbelievable passer.
highlights that as far as something that they look at him as far as being able to do. Now, of course, he can do it, and
Oh, he was one of the best in the league.
everybody can see that. But I feel like on a team like the Celtics at the time, you couldn't look past them and say, all right, this is exactly how we take them down, because everybody had a gun on and everybody could shoot it. Everybody could, from McHale to Parrish to Bird.
When they had Walton. When they had Walton, they could pass.
They could pass a little bit better too.
Bill Walton. Bill Walton.
Luke Walton's daddy. I'm not talking
about
Luke
Walton's.
Luke Walton. Yeah. I'm gonna call him Luke Walton because Luke Walton and Bill Walton are the same person to me. As good as Bill Walton was for me, Luke Walton in his short tenure, they remind me of each other. They're really good players, but I feel like
but Bill Walton at one time, like in the 70s, was the best player in basketball. He was an MVP. He was a champion. But when he went to the Celtics, like their 86 team's considered one of the best ever. But you look at the guys Magic had, like just the drive to win, like 5 championships is absolutely in like a decade. You know, just those dynasties, and it's just like, but they like Kareem and like James Worthy that just had unbelievable players and just wars. But the whole story, there's a great one on ESPN, 30 for 30, Celtics and the Lakers, and it's got 2 narrators. So one is Donnie Wahlberg from NKOTB, the other one's Ice Cube. And they each tell, like, Ice Cube tells the Lakers story and Donnie Wahlberg tells the Celtics story. There's also on, I think it's an HBO one, was Celtic City, which was done by Bill Simmons, I believe, and charts the history of the Boston Celtics from, like, the Red Auerbach days to today. It does a really good job. There's the Lakers documentary on Disney Plus or on Hulu, I think, in the US. So I don't know why. I just watch them because it's just like, to me, that's basketball. That in the 90s. And, of course, I watched The Last Dance, too, at work, again, for multiple times. Last Dance. Fuck. Like, greatest of all time. I don't care what anybody says. The best ever do it is that guy. 23 in red. Like, just so good. But that's what I've been doing. George, you watching anything exciting lately?
Another day. That's
another day.
I watched the
No argument.
3.
No argument.
I watched the real 23 the other night at 41 years old, do things that the other 23 couldn't do at 41 if he wanted to. So
yeah, because he was out. It was 6 championships and buying a run in the Hornets or whatever. So yeah,
6
I'm not worried about that.
A break in between. I gotcha.
Yeah, he played baseball, for God's sakes. Like, play baseball.
It's not as fast paced as basketball, especially when you struck out.
And they got cut off. Like, I think they could have won 2 or 3 more with that team because he was still good. Like, he was still the best player. He was the best player in the world when he left. He left on top. Like, you could just do everything. He played defense. He could
at this particular point because those 2 years.
It is, but
we can never go back and get.
Hey, he's got 6. He's got 6. Like 6 rings and just domination, and took the game to a different level. So, but George,
I've seen a recent point, and I'm gonna say this before we go, that the Bill Russell thing being swept under the rug is kind of funny, because at what point do you kind of say, all right, he wasn't the best player on the best team at the time that he was the best player, and then he goes on after that and becomes the best coach because he wins 2 championships after that. So it's just like,
oh, he's amazing.
The narrative of him not necessarily being the best player, because Mike ain't do that. Mike ain't check out and be like, look, I'm going to run this shit and I'm going to still run this and win 2. So
and remember, he did it as a black man in Boston. Like
what?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it talks about that.
Another day, but we definitely got to get into some of the things with basketball, because basketball season is in full swing. We are past the All-Star break, so we're now into more serious basketball playing. Like, teams are really
March Madness, baby. March Madness
in the NBA. March Madness is hot. So we got a lot of basketball to watch. There's a lot of orange basketballs and hoops, being, done. So let's kind of
gonna be fun.
it's going to go. But of course, got to get out of here. Got to handle things. Got to pay some bills.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Boom, boom, peace.